Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a Premier League presentation bringing you guys a game between Alliance and Virtus.pro. This is going to be the third game in this best of 3 series. This is the decider. Who is going to the grand finals and who is dropping down to the lower bracket finals. We are going to be looking at here Alliance versus Virtus.pro. Awesome games so far. Game 1 going the way of Alliance with just some really smooth play, some very active, amazing damage coming out of S4. He got the Templar Assassin and he was so darn effective with it that it just really was the one thing that you just had to look at there. Either way, Virtus.pro answering back with some really solid play of their own, picking up an Outworld Devourer of all things. Wanted to call it the Obsidian Destroyer, but of course, OD has been switched up a little bit there. Either way, really solid play, good lane swaps, and once he got the farm, it really made its impact on the map. So they were able to push on for the win just a moment ago, and now we are going to see what they have to bring to the table for Game 3, the deciding game right here. I'm pumped. How about you, Vic?
Dude, I'm hella pumped. I'm happy that VP took the second one. I'm really happy. And we see we're going to have yet another draft, so a third slight twist in the draft here. The first game, Lifestealer was picked up by Alliance. Second game, he was banned out in the first phase. Third game, he's taken by VP, and Lifestealer almost certainly going to be Illidan on this hero. Meanwhile, Alliance actually pick up the Nature's Prophet for probably Admiral Bulldog, if I had to guess. And this is a hero that was key to VP's lineup in both of the previous games, so if they had planned to use that again, not going to happen this time. The same sort of bans coming out, Chen, Lone Druid for VP, making sure that Ake Chen isn't able to gob this or slow the game down, get that global heal, and also taking out the Lone Druid, obviously a Bulldog targeted ban. Alliance, meanwhile, played with fire with the IO, got a little burned, and so you see them banning it this time. Yeah. And the puck taken for VP as well. Interesting. Very
interesting the way this worked out. The first couple of games, Virtus.pro, the first opportunity they had, they picked up the Nature's Prophet. They banned out, of course, the Lone Druid. And as such, Admiral Bulldog has kind of been a little bit lost. He's been trying to find exactly where to kind of find his home with a certain hero, and he has played a couple different things. The Magnus not as effective as he'd like to be this past time, but with the fact that Virtus.pro wanted the Lifestealer for themselves, didn't want to give it to the opposition, they flinched a little bit, and they give, finally, Bulldog one of his signature heroes here. The Nature's Prophet is going to be very effective, and then that allows S4 to run rampant with the Magnus. Now, they don't really counter-draft here. They don't have a Bane or a Shadow Demon against the Lifestealer, but they are rounding out their lanes nicely. They have their off-lane secured, their mid, and also one really powerful support. So all they have to do is look to have a carry that can go head-to-head with the Lifestealer. And as soon as they get that, they are guaranteed a really solid game.
Yeah, I mean, not taking the Bane or the Shadow Demon is very interesting, but I think it speaks to what Loda said in his interview with you, which is like, we're not going to bend over backwards trying to do like one-for-one counter picks. Where we're going to sort of go with our plan. We don't worry about it. We just want to make sure that what we do will work. And Keeper the Light, great pickup. It's basically if you want security in your tri-lane, which is exactly what Alliance wants, since VP have in both games gone to disrupt the tri-lane. Keeper the Light is a big old security blanket, right? Like, he gives you more tri-lane presence than almost any other support does defensively. So even though they don't have a direct counter to Lifestealer yet, they could always go with something later on in the draft. We'll have to keep watching. They're happy because they have what they want. Like, they have a lineup that they're comfortable with. And key heroes, I mean, Bulldog Nature's Prophet, excellent. S4 Magnus, best Magnus in the biz, at least in the West.
Yeah.
Yao, of course, a little better, I think, in the world, but S4 is very strong as far as European North America.
Yeah, well, if the G1 qualifiers have anything to say about it, we'll see if that can be considered rather directly. But either way, check out these Loda bands, man. This is weird to see. Bands. Of course, the Phantom Lancer makes sense, the Anti-Mage as well, but seeing the Spectre taken off the board, they're like, screw it. Keeper Light sets up great late game. She can already, reality into the fight. Now they have the chance to recall her too. It's like, no, we don't want that mobility out of such a great late game carry. So they will be able to just...
5 seconds
Sorry?
remaining.
Just speaking to the Spectre ban, it's because they already have Wrath of Nature too. You pop reality, or rather you pop Haunt, you cast the Wrath of Nature, and then you can just you can mop somebody up. It's like a partial global strat. Nobody would do it except Alliance, of course, and maybe Dignitas, because nobody else is crazy enough to pick Spectre, but Alliance are crazy enough to pick Spectre. So I actually think this is a pretty smart ban. I like it.
It's an interesting one, that's for sure. And in this position here, I can definitely understand it. But now Alliance still has options. Like Loda, you tried to ban against him, but they didn't have any early phase. Loda bans, they didn't have any carries taken out until those 3. So although Lifestealer is not going to be an option, neither will those last 3 bans, he still has pretty good options. I mean, the Gyrocopter is still in, the Faceless Void if he wants it, the Alchemist, all great carries that can, in their own right, make a big impact on the battlefield.
They like Alchemist. They like Alchemist. They still have Nyx Assassin once again skating through all the way here. The reason he's not banned is because VP were focusing on carry bans, and Disruptor. I have to keep an eye out for that too. Disruptor's pretty great against Nature's Prophet, just because if you have great vision, and VP spent a lot of, the Nyx, So he skates through because Alliance were just banning out like the Undying for the Triverse Try, all these Triverse Try heroes, plus the Bane that Arsart is so good with. And as a consequence, getting a Nyx Assassin 4th pick is actually a bargain. Like, this is a great pickup for them. The Disruptor is cool too, though. If you have really good vision, you can glimpse people back like nobody's business.
This is the roster that they picked up. Very, very similar to the one that they drafted up against Team Liquid when they just completely dominated there. They have a supportive Juggernaut picked up by Arzart. For those that didn't catch it, I'm serious. Juggernaut, run as a support where he just dishes out damage with spin and stays on point to make sure Lifestealer has his amazing lane. So they have Lifestealer, Disruptor, Juggernaut. They have the Darkseer to vacuum into the kinetic field and the Static Storm on top of that. They have an amazing team fight here. It's really an amazing roster that they figured out how to work with, and hopefully Alliance caught that game and is going to be able to draft and play against it effectively, but it is a strong, strong lineup. It's going to be very, very high pressure coming out of Virtus Pro, and I honestly, they're going to have to get something great to work up against that. Like the Gyrocopter, it deals with a lot of the issues up against like the Wall of Replica and how many come out from that. They can flat cannon that down, but still, they have to be able to respond very, very carefully to how these fights break out.
I actually do not love the Gyrocopter, Blaze. I'm going to disagree with you there. I am highly concerned about the tri-lane.
Yeah.
Really, 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 really concerned about it, because Juggernaut, Arsart doesn't care about your Illuminates. He doesn't care about your Impales, and he doesn't care about your Rocket Barrages. Yeah. If they pop off the kinetic field and Loda gets trapped in it, he's probably dead. Their tri-lane contains 2 people that are impervious to just about everything Alliance's tri-lane does.
Yeah.
For Alliance, it's going to be more important to just dodge the 3 versus 3. Like, at all costs.
Yeah, exactly.
They do not want that 3 versus 3.
No, they cannot do that. The Nyx, this is how they draft against it. They wait for the Nyx and the Keeper Light to both picked up, and in that situation, this tri-lane thrives. Arzart has plenty of regeneration. He's literally sitting on a net worth of 113, if you can believe it, for a Juggernaut. But yeah, these guys, you go for the Blade Fury, you go for the Rage, and suddenly Illuminate won't affect you. The Spike Carapace, the Impale, none of that matters. And suddenly you are able to just dish out so much damage that short time period. Now, they do have tools to work against it, but if Virtus Pro plays it right, it can be just devastating.
Checking the Roche.
It's reasonable. It's understandable.
Against this team, yes, it certainly is. And they spotted it out, so you see a little bit of all chat.
Yeah. There was an interesting matchup. I'm trying to remember if it was with EG or something like that, but in the G1 Western qualifiers, where they not only sniped the Roche for an amazing stomp, but they did it by using Bulldog's Treants to kind of make them think that, no, there's no way, because the Treants are scouting out. We'll just get some free kills here, and then suddenly it's like, yeah, we'll trade your Treants for Roche. But no, in this position, they're wise to scout it out and make sure that that's not going to be an issue.
Right. From VP, I would like to see a concerted effort to actually get the 3 vs 3. If they just sort of play very safe, I feel like they're not playing to the strengths of what they can do. They have the ability, in my opinion, to really punish the Alliance tri-lane, and maybe I'm wrong, but I really feel like it's an advantageous position for them, and so the more time they spend just safe farming Illidan, the more time they don't sort of put the pressure on Alliance. But maybe they want to play a little safer, and I don't know. This Disruptor is a multifarious pick, like multifaceted, I mean, not multifarious. The fact that Glimpse is so good against Nature's Prophet is really, really good. Like, if he's able to just take Bulldog out of fights before Bulldog can contribute to them, that's a substantial TMW.
I can't imagine that they're going to be able to do too much to him here, even though he doesn't have his orb. It's still, I mean, haste is something, but Nyx is still not going to be able to actually make that big of an impact. Either way, one thing I really think that's fine for Virtus Pro to be in this position, because Juggernaut here is going to stack the easy camp and play a little bit of jungle knots. He gets the Ion Shell, he spins it up, and he gets plenty of independent golden experience. So in this position here, they say, okay, you have a great tri-lane. We don't care. We will get our reasonable golden experience, and then suddenly turn it to a point where in the mid game, then those Rage and Blade Fury aspects still take a major effect. So even if it's going to be 5v5, where that's going to be a factor. I understand it does give Alliance a little bit of room of opportunity to make it work for them, but still, they're happy to make sure that Lifestealer and Juggernaut are going to pick up items for themselves.
Yeah, no, this is actually fine. This is the greedier approach, is to just stack up every single jungle camp, have Darkseer and Juggernaut clear them out, and get the levels, and then go ganking. The more I think about this, the more I think it's actually really smart. They could have gone for the high-risk route, but instead they're going for a route that's going to pay off greater for the overall plan that they want to go for. So
Exactly.
I like it.
Yeah, so KSI going to get easily a good set of levels, and you're going to say the same thing about Arzard. I mean, the timing. NS is the one pulling, but Arzard is the one roaming around to chaos it. It's like they're actually like setting him up as a jungle carry. It's really, really weird, but they are giving him this priority, and it's working extremely well. So that's interesting. Of course, Lifestealer has no contest down on bottom. He's got his Orb of Venom just in case, but he can easily go for something other than that, just phase boots on in and get some damage on the field.
Yeah. It's very interesting because, like, Alliance, this is... If you just look at the compositions in a vacuum, you're like, my god, how did they give Alliance so many top-tier heroes? But when you drill down into it, VP are very, very scary with this non-traditional lineup, and that's what they said they'd bring. They said they would bring this sort of non-traditional, interesting Dota, and however this game goes, it'll certainly be interesting. Illidan getting good development. The one thing that's interesting to me, this Orb of Venom on Lifestealer in a lane that's not going to be contested pretty much forever. What do you think about this?
He could have waited. He honestly could have just waited until it was that, but I think he actually wants to hang on to it throughout the early mid game. Like, he wants to actually commit a full item slot to it. It's not expensive as far as gold goes, but yeah, he's going to be pretty much just sitting with 5 item slots and make sure that when it comes down to team fights, his open wounds and his right clicks are just going to make it so that the Juggernaut can do his damage.
Oh no!
Are you serious? Did it just shockwave him?
There were 2 Satyr Tormentors in the camp. They double shockwaved EGM twice and then meleeed him down. Satyr Tormentors are straight up assholes.
They're literally, that's the best way to put it. Like, F that. Like, I would be so pissed. In this situation, Nyx Assassin just died to neutrals. He's sitting on boots, and he's trying to farm out the jungle, but they are having none of that.
Poor EGM. He did not deserve...
It's all Loda's fault. He came too close.
Background. Yeah, sorry for laughing in the background, but like, I saw the 2 Satyr Tormentors and I'm like, huh, that's cute, he's gonna have to salve. And then he goes back in and they're like, no, you die.
Even worse, even worse. It's all because Loda was there trying to leech a bit of experience. The second they see 3 targets, they're like, yeah, we're gonna start throwing some weird...
Absolutely. It's kind of, I mean, it's hard to blame Loda for that, but I told you, man, he's so greedy for this last hit.
So...
Ouch. I mean, it's not a huge deal, frankly. Keep in mind, folks,
it's
just quick PSA to people that might not know, even though it says 1-0, that does not give First Blood credit.
No, not
So
at
the
all.
next kill will give the extra First Blood gold.
So still a lot on the table, but a little bit of a funny start, and of course Juggernaut's having a much better time comparatively, seeing as he did pick up a supportive role, but he himself is on par with as far as levels go. He's at the level of Keeper Light and above that of the Nyx. And as far as GPM, you're actually seeing even more. You're seeing that he's hitting up 167, and that's going to keep on coming. The best part is that he's going to be able to do still a good amount of the team fights. The healing ward is nice, but even better is going to be the fact that Omni Slash, it's a very powerful nuke no matter what you're looking at in this position. We're finally getting on paused out, and I honestly think that their mid game is just going to be so darn difficult to deal with. As soon as they start getting big vacuums, as soon as Darkseer gets multiple points of vacuum and the Disruptor becomes a factor with his kinetic and static combos, this is going to be hard. Alliance is, going to have to break it. They know what they're up against, and they have to be very, very cautious about how they initiate, because, like I said, everything's on the line here. This is an extra $1,000 probably along those lines.
I mean, the thing is, Alliance knows. So people who didn't watch yesterday's stream might not realize, but this is almost the exact same strategy that VP ran yesterday against Team Liquid. This is not a pocket strat that we're seeing for the first time. Alliance will know if they watch yesterday's games, which they almost certainly did, exactly what the plan is here. It's what you said, Liz. It's to vac into the kinetic field that already has the static storm inside of it and just clean up after that. So Alliance will know, and careful positioning can, if not nullify that, limit its effectiveness.
But it's difficult to keep careful positioning at all times, and if you do step a toe out of line, if you do cluster up just a little bit, a blink, a Dream Coil can make it, so that unless you're popping a BKB, you're going to be caught in that mess, and of course that is going to get more and more difficult to deal with. I like the fact that Gyrocopter is involved, that you can just pop off the flat cannon when you see it coming, and then the right clicks won't be really messed up too much by the fact that you can't cast. So I think that's going to be helpful, but nevertheless, you're still clustered with everybody else, all your allies, and the damage will be there.
Yeah, absolutely. VP, I mean, you can see that VP are just finding their timing, and Alliance are still playing quite defensively. I mean, they know what's happening, and they want to get Loda to a good position before that. They want EGM to be able to find his levels. In fact, let's take stock of what the levels are looking
Actually,
like.
Dream Coil coming up on top. They do pop off that. Actually, no, it's just going to be Lifesteal. I messed up on the colors there. Loda taking a lot of damage, but will TP away. Illidan immediately moves over to look at his next target of choice, which is that Nyx Assassin. Already having used Carapace, he has to get a big stun. No, with this Dream Coil, even with this double stun, he's going to have to wait it out, and he should just fall in the end.
Nice Impale, for what it's worth. But
yeah, but, you know.
I'm still going to fall, yeah. S4 actually rotating over. He's got RP. If he gets... No.
Yeah, he was really just hoping.
And S, I think he might be dead.
Where's he at?
Got him.
Sorry.
It's too late, dude. It's alright.
So yeah, last game, NS versus Nightstalker confused the hell out of me, so I'm just like trying to figure out am I missing something. But yeah, no, it was I'll pick off there. Can you break that down for me?
Not too complicated. Because of the rotation, NS was left alone. The Sprout comes out, he tries to TP, but Ake's there to throw out the Illuminate. Bulldog, meanwhile, going hard for that Midas. I think it's traveling to him right now. No items in this man's inventory but Midas. That's the manly way to play Prophet, folks.
Nice. Nice. So yeah, Midas will come on through. He'll pick that up. Lots of Dallas is how it's going to work. But we are going to see a little bit of pressure coming out from Virtus Pro. They can try to counter-initiate on this pretty effectively. At least have Juggernaut here to counter-push. That's what they were doing with the... He TP'd to the tier 2 of the top lane and was able to counter-push effectively there, and also obviously helped to pick off the Nyx Assassin. And then with this here, they're also making sure that he gets some farm down on bottom. So finding some nice opportunities, and from there he's going to get some good phase boots and some great opportunities to just dish out all his damage.
Right. I gotta say, Arsart has not quite found the great levels so far. But he does have this free solo lane now. This is something VP did in game 1 too, which is smart. S4 maybe Troublebin? No, he's gonna get out fine. TMW can't prosecute this too heavily because even one support TPing in plus the RP is a dead puck. So he can harass a little bit, but he's got to be careful about how deep he goes in. Because S4, you know he's very good at playing safe. And
surged on it. Illidan will... Oh, it's not going to be enough. TP comes on out once more. KSI doesn't even have a point in vacuum, unfortunately. So good move. They Iron Shield, they surge him, but the only kill that comes on out on the mid lane here, we do see S4 getting a beautiful skewer RP off. Didn't actually catch it, but we caught the back end of it where there was the kill on the puck, which they were most definitely looking for. Good maneuver there, getting the Disruptor and the puck underneath that tier 1, and as a result, they're taking this other tier 1 to the bank.
I mean, that's exactly it, is that you can't overextend onto S4, and that's what they did right there. He had the DD rune, and they get a tower, too. This is a big win for Alliance there. Very, very big win. I mean, overextending, trying to punish S4, moves him only less than 800 gold away from his blink. He's actually going to move a little bit away because he's going to make the magic wand, which I really like, actually, because VP have a lot of spammable spells, especially Puck. So he's going to make Blink sooner as a result of that happening, and that's a big thing for VP to give up. Just a little bit over-exuberant there, losing the tower too.
Exactly. So they are kind of falling behind comparatively, but their lineup will still always work. It's kind of like having the Magnus on your team. It's always going to be impactful if you get the right initiation up, but I think that's easier for Virtus Pro to accomplish. They have so much more potential once Darkseer finds his levels. The problem is at level 7, he still doesn't have points in back, and that's not going to change until throughout the next 4 levels, getting better and better. We do see Arzard in a really bad spot. No TP scroll means he can't spin TP, and
he doesn't know.
All they have to do is migrate.
He doesn't know that the 2 people are here on the back.
Yeah.
I think he's going to find out in like 2 seconds. But.
Yeah, but Bulldog needs to get a Sprout off, essentially. He doesn't have any tree cutters whatsoever, but he can Omni Slash out. So the question is, oh no, Bulldog stay here. Oh, he sees they took action going there. The silence comes out. TMW bursting down on Bulldog. Blinding Light means he cannot right-click. Going to be able to get away. This miss is too much, and he is actually able to get right on out there. Good move from Ake, but it won't be enough if the Omni Slash connects. Yeah, oh, where's it going? Oh, he actually got the TP off, but didn't interrupt. I don't even know. Like, he got the Omni Slash without interrupting the TP. I don't even know how that works.
I'm not 100% clear. Maybe
Ice
it's
Frog,
like that Pudge situation where you host as the person's leaving.
Yeah, what'd you do, Ice Frog?
And consequently it didn't Minista. That's really weird because he bounced to a creep down here. The other possibility, depending on lag, sometimes you get the Juggernaut actually Omni-slashing into the base. But, I don't know.
Yeah, I was looking for that, honestly. I was clicking on his portrait, seeing if he would just go flying on through like a old-school Spirit Breaker, Nether Strike.
I mean, Alliance. Can we talk about these TPs and how good they've been?
Oh, so strong.
They've avoided so many kills, and it's starting to look like game 1, and not in a good way for Virtus Pro, because they're getting all these close to kills, but not actually getting kills, and their strategy requires you to get those kills each time. The other thing I wanted to comment on, check out this Treant and how much stacking it's been doing of the jungle, and also check out this other subtle thing Bulldog's doing, completely stealing the Radiant's jungle away from them. He knows that their strategy is very greedy, and he's taking away their opportunities to be greedy. Great vision of the jungle, and he's clearing it out nearly every creep reset.
Dire wards up everywhere, and they're going to take this tier 1. As soon as that's the case, they actually control the jungle even more so than their own. So they're going to be in a great position to make sure that this keeps on happening, and if Alliance can find their own little points of farm, they're going to be in a pretty good spot. We do see Illidan jumping on down bottom, goes for the Infest, but now he only has one more spell, maybe 2, if he does get the magic wand off. Either way, he's in a position down where they could actually try to go for a pincer formation. 3 versus 1 with a reverse polarity. They could go for the kill, but they don't know what's down there south. The wards are great for the jungle itself, but they don't have vision of the lane.
Oh, no.
And actually, we're going to see
NSK
up on top
top
lane, I believe. Yeah, they're going to be coming on through. Admiral Bulldog got glimpsed away, though. Teleported right back down, right next to this Juggernaut here. They're going to actually go in and turn things around on Jug. No, yeah, right-click coming on through. That TP, I'm not sure about it, but either way, Juggernaut's right-clicks. They just need this Skewer to land, and they do connect with it, so he drops down. RP down on Lifestealer. They're going to be able to bring him down as well. He rages away. He is right-clicking hard, but without an armlet, I don't think he can manage it. Are they going to get the Sprout is the question, and the answer is absolutely not. They get the Impale, but he's already out of the woods, and with that, NS is now on the chase. He can't really do too much more without any mana, but he is at least forcing them out so that they are completely routed away from this position.
It's not a chase, it's just he's just getting a little bit of vision back on their jungle, because they know at this point that their jungle is being abused, so they have to sort of get vision back on it. They have to get farm back on it, and Arsart, he found himself in such a tough position there. He couldn't spin TP because the RP is going to come out. Well, so he had to get out of range before trying to TP, but that's very difficult.
And this entire time, the entire game, I don't think hasn't picked up a TP scroll. Just kind of a huge mistake in my opinion for a Juggernaut is to not have that available, and he hasn't really. They go pop the drums. They're going on to Loda here. They catch him before he hits the woods. There's going to be that TP. The Omni Slash cancels it though, and as such, Loda will be dropped down. So good maneuver there.
You mean to say that Omni Slash can cancel Town Portal?
What's that?
You mean Omni Slash can cancel Town Portal? That doesn't comport with my experiences in this game.
Well, I don't know. There's a lot of new viewers who don't understand the mechanics we were talking about.
No, I'm joking about the previous Omni Slash that...
this game specifically, yeah. If you take it by the process... Oh, actually, interesting spot for him. They don't get this done, though, so not going to be able to lock him down. Good Vendetta maneuver. Actually, you're going to get the Sprout here. He has to vacuum on out of the trees. Still will be able to get just barely away. And surviving on through. A lot committed by especially the Vendetta Nyx. But, yeah, no, they are,
I mean, that was a good attempt. They didn't... honestly, Vendetta rank 1 lasts so little time that it's not a big deal to just expend it, however. Arsart, he's getting... I was commenting about his levels. He is 2 levels ahead now of where...
Ooh, Team W finding the coil, or just locking him in. No, they have to actually glimpse him and coil him. EGM will be locked, but they cast, like, every spell in the book on him. Like, he literally... They miscoordinate a little bit. They wanted the coil or to lock him in the kinetic, and as soon as they couldn't do that, the glimpse from NS did put him in a weird spot. Either way, though, they find their kill, and they just have to mana up to make sure they're going to be in a good spot after that.
Illidan.
Yeah, not sure about that. He gets an Infest off, so I think he's okay. The reinforcements will coming soon, but he has to survive for the moment, and with this reverse polarity, lock him in. No! They don't hit with the Illuminate, so he's right-clicking away. He will be able to bring down Bulldog. They get the mechanism up on him. They are dishing out so much damage right here. They're turning it around. Illidan's still alive, and they're going to kill S4. Illidan dodges out the Illuminate, and as such, they just completely destroy this. Silence on EGM, but he will get the right-clicks off. No, they turn it around. They have the Sentry Ward. They're right-clicking him down, and they turn it for a triple kill for Illidan. I killed 4 heroes. I'm assuming they killed... Actually, they didn't kill the Keeper Light. He got the TP off, I guess, but...
Yeah,
shoot.
Ake was fun.
Still, 3 heroes, all 3 of them going to Illidan when he... What looked at first to be certain death. That was just really, really great rotation. We saw Virtus Pro coming in, and they were just in the nick of time.
No, absolutely. I mean, that was pretty remarkable. I thought he was dead, and Illidan, there's the... there's the fighting spirit, right? Like... Anybody else would have just sat in the infests for as long as possible.
Yeah, he's like,
this
no.
This is a lifestealer who doesn't have armlet. Like, he has it now, but he didn't have it for that fight.
Yeah.
And he was just, no, you know what? I have faith in my teammates. They're going to come in and help bail me out, and we'll turn this entire fight around. And VP needed that fight. And that's just given them a pretty substantial advantage.
Yeah. It was amazing what they were able to accomplish with that. I mean, you see the gold, and more importantly, the experience just rocking up in favor of Virtus Pro. The levels coming out in Lifesteal. He is now the leader of the pack. He has an armlet, a drums, a phase. He really can't be stopped. In this position here, he's going to be able to dish out so much damage, and the only thing they have is that reverse polarity, which, as I said, with Illidan being the top at level 11, that means Magnus is only just about to hit his rank 2 RP, so that is not going to be enough lockdown, and I feel that Nyx is going to be able to just kind of roam on around and accomplish whatever he wants with the support of his allies.
Right. The flip side is, for Alliance, the good thing, they have some map control. They're ahead 2 towers. This leaves a lot of free space for Loda to farm. It leaves a lot of free space for Bulldog to farm. We have this classic split push damage prophet. The Hand of Midas first. He's got the treads. He's building towards Shadow Blade. That's going to be substantial damage. Loda, he's getting this ancient stack cleared out. Remember that Bulldog actually smartly used. I mean, Bulldog Prophet's really good. Like, he was doing a lot. He was controlling the jungle and stacking the ancients with his treants and getting farm himself. And now these stacked ancients will be taken by Loda to build up his BKB, which will be done in about 1,300 gold. So making his way there, honestly, making his way there at a pretty fast pace. And BKB, pretty good. I mean, it'll take out a lot of the damage that the VP can deal to you, in addition to preventing, if you do get vacked into the silence field, it's a huge deal to actually be immune to that silence and be able to walk out of the kinetic.
BKB makes Disruptor and Puck pretty much worthless. They cannot do anything to BKB targets. And that kind of lockdown, Loda is going to be able to just completely run rampant throughout teamfights. But he needs to get more farm. Like, the BKB will be great, but after that, he needs damage really, really badly. A Butterfly would be great, of course. But it's hard to figure out exactly what the best option is, because there's just so much potential to be screwed over in the midst of things against the dual core. He's invested too, so... Yep. They're going to be able to drop the Snake Spawn, but they don't have vision right now. Team W walks right into the creep, so yeah, unfortunately. And TP retaliation. Magnus might get a little greedy here, looking for, hey, it's a free puck. No, it's not. Infest coming on through. Dreamcoil up. There's Illidan, right-clicking away. He will get the kill on S4. Looking for EGM as well. The Carapace not connecting yet, and it actually won't ever. He has to pop off the Vendetta just to walk away from that. They do a kinetic field. Oh. Holy crap, that kinetic static so good. Omni Slash coming on through. Lodo should fall here. The right clicks are there. The spin. There is that Waning Rift to lock it down. Amazing fight for them. They buy back with the Magnus, but he's not coming in yet. Ake can't even get the TP off here, and as such, their team fight is just getting shredded right now. EGM, the orb, he actually connects with it. He phased it. He did that one thing. Oh my gosh, I have to talk about this in just a second. The fight has to end first. Tier 2, actually they haven't even taken the fucking Tier 1. But, oh my gosh, they're about to take this Tier 1, and the way, what happened right there was insane. This is something that's different. I think it's different between Dota 1, Dota 2, whatever it is. Actually, S4 about to be picked. Nice skewer, but it shouldn't be enough to finish it. Yeah, gets backed in, gets dropped down. But what happened there with Nyx Assassin, obviously one hit away from that orb to kill him. He popped the Carapace to try to nullify the damage, but instead TMW phase shift during it. If you're immune, you will not take that reflect, and as such, the Carapace did nothing. He couldn't reflect the spikes. With the spikes, he couldn't reflect the orb, because TMW timed his rank 1 phase shift exactly when it would strike, getting the kill, and that was just so hot.
That's one way to put it. By the way, VP, they're gonna just go for it again? TMW is carrying Airman again, and this is Airman likes this. You actually called him out in a previous game for just using Lifestealer as like a not wanting to walk around, just always sitting in other heroes, and he's kind of doing it again. They're going to try to spot out Bulldog.
It's working though.
Bulldog found the Tier 2 tower there. It was really good. By the way, that was NS's first huge play of this game, and man, was it a huge play. I don't think VP could have continued chasing that through if that Kinetic Field plus Static Storm hadn't hit on 2. That let Arsart catch up, pop his Omni Slash. The Omni Slash stayed on Loda as he traveled, which let him do even more damage to him with the Blade Fury following on. They don't find the kill on Bulldog, by the way. Bulldog just, he's like quietly like, oh, you guys want to just die a lot? I'm going to stay out of those fights and continue trying to earn some map control by taking towers. Because VP were past the you might have forgotten during that fight, if you're watching, that they didn't even have the Tier 1 tower at that point. They do secure it, but in the meantime, Bulldog pushes down this entire top set. So he is trying his best to generate an opportunity for Alliance to win later. Because VP, for all their might, this is not an amazing pushing lineup. It's really just Healing Ward that contributes a lot of push here. So they're going to have to watch out later in this game about Bulldog potentially just... Like, he had so much time there. He cleared out a tower and, like, pushed down the entire lane. Next time that happens, even if VP win the fight, Bulldog might just rax them.
Exactly. So yeah, he's going to be able to split push more aggressively, and he's going to be able to put that pressure out. But the question is whether or not it'll be enough. He'll have an Orchid for solo pickoffs too, but in this position here, it just feels like they're really, really playing from behind. The net worth, although it is currently in favor of Alliance for their 2 main heroes, the other 3 have been just so impactful for team fights that it seems to be worse and worse for them each time they go for the engagement.
No, I mean, the engagements have not gone well. I agree with that. But VP are expending a lot of time just chasing.
Yeah.
And Alliance, again, these guys position smartly. They move smartly. They have good vision. Look at these treant wards, Blaze. Like, look at how Bulldog is just utilizing these just to see what the hell is going on and act as a like bonus wards early warning system. And they have their wards placed at strategic spots, and they use the treants and Bulldog to fill in the gaps, all to play defensively. And defensively is the right call.
Yeah. That is, they have to, honestly, in this kind of position here. Every single team fight has not worked out for them. They can still go for the picks with S4 and such, but they need to find those opportunities where they have the vision advantage. They can go on through. Yeah, of course, they're doing a lot of damage to the tier 2 on bottom, forcing out the fortification. Meanwhile, on top, it's only NS here, right-clicking away, so he's not going to make that much of an impact. Honestly, all he's waiting to do is be a nuisance and wait for somebody to TP to defend it and then glimpse them. That's all his role is at this position here. But on bottom, we do see there is that reverse polarity. I think he's infested, so he dodged it out. But either way, the damage comes out through. Big wall, Replica, big vacuum. There is Loda dropping quickly. Illidan will be able to bring him down, and Magnus down with them. Too much magic immunity. They just right-click away. They burn it down. They were ready to rumble, and they respond in just seconds with that amazing, amazing team fight of theirs.
Where'd the team go? There were 2 teams here, and now there's only 1 team. Oh, the courier! Why was that?
That was just a mistake. But
what the hell was that courier doing there?
He was playing patty cake. I don't even know. Like, just big misplays. But no, I mean, they got everything. They killed 3 people. They killed the courier. They defended their tower. They can do whatever they want now. It's just their style, where as soon as they initiate, as soon as they draw the I would say line, but it's drawing a circle on the ground where they want to fight and just dropping down that kinetic, there is nothing that Alliance can do. The BKB is up for Gyro, and he's the only one who has control of his fate. The rest of them, just right-click away, just spin out, rage out, dish out the damage they want to, and I think even Illidan dodged out the reverse polarity.
He didn't come in by the time the reverse. He came in later.
Yeah, moments later.
He infested into the fight, and that's the thing. Infest does no joke damage. They have. It's like the second game now. Earlier I said VP were looking a little bit like the first game, but in these turnarounds they've made it look like the second game. Alliance doesn't bring the damage. VP brings the damage, and that's because they delegate one of their support roles every game to pure damage dealing. Juggernaut isn't a disabler, he just brings the damage. And Lifestealer adding on even more damage with that Infest in that fight. NS, he's gonna finish, I guess this is his Arcanes? Yeah, okay.
Gotta go shopping, man.
So that was a little dangerous, actually, shopping in the Rosh Pit, because Alliance were just above it, but they didn't go in on him, and NS is fine to finish up his Arcanes. That was really good play, and again, Alliance just get torn apart in these fights, and you had mentioned, Blaze, that Loda, because he's gone BKB, does not bring the counter damage. He survived much longer than a lot of people on his team did there, but he didn't have enough to turn it around. VP, imagine if Alliance had a route 20 to 30% more damage. VP ended the fight at around 30% health. But because they out-damaged them.
There is going to be a big fight here. Shadowblade coming out in Illidan. They're going to force the Rage right here. Puck coming out in TMW. Hits on 2 for the coil. They do get the RP on both of them, though. Really nice coil. The static field doing a lot, but Lifestealer will still fall. And now Juggernaut has to run. He cannot turn and fight this, or can he? The beautiful, beautiful wall. They vacuum right back on into it, and honestly, Alliance just turns tail and run. They know that Loda doesn't have that much HP to work with, and without a BKB, very little ground to stand on. Admiral Bulldog will get the TP off, and everybody does get out safe and sound. So they force out a buyback from the Lifestealer, from the Puck, and then they only lose the Keeper Light. So really, really good comeback swing from the Team Alliance, of course.
Running away was the exact right call. That was really smart. They got the kills, they got the buybacks, and then get the hell out. Really, really, really smart. And keep in mind, that cost a lot of net worth to VP.
Yeah.
Look at the advantage that Loda and Bulldog now have on the rest of the board.
Extremely.
Alliance want to get to the point at which they can just counter push and win that way. And that fight was critical. Oh no,
another pick off on him, unfortunately. Respawns only to drop down, but they are probably going to lose the tier 2 because they cannot counter push with the Illuminate.
These are level 8 supports. Like, they're going to die, and you have to deal with that. The key is to make sure that Loda doesn't die, he gets damage items, and Bulldog doesn't die and he counter pushes. And because VP's lineup, like, look how slow it takes for these high-level characters to bring down a tier 2 tower.
Yeah.
We live in an age where almost a lot of Tier 1 heroes have this additional pushing capability, and VP kind of don't have it. So it's going to take them a little while to get towers down, even if they do have the healing ward from Jug to keep them alive. That was a trade right there.
Yeah.
Bulldog takes the Tier 2 bot, VP takes the Tier 2 top.
Yeah. Now, one interesting thing about item builds for these two, the Lifestealer and the Juggernaut, is both games. This isn't a mistake. This is something they intend to do. Both the Lifestealer and the Juggernaut go for Drums of Endurance. They love the base stats extra. They love to pop as many charges as possible. And as such, they're able to just kind of jump in and dish out a lot. So they both go for the drums, and now he's going for an Aghanim Scepter, allowing him to do so much damage with that Omni Slash. Something you generally don't see, but in this case, why not? It's all about that support doing more damage, even if he doesn't have all the items in the world to back it up.
Right. No, I mean, Alliance, if they can generate another fight like that last one, that'll be great. Because I mentioned before how VP is just bringing more damage, but when Alliance sort of find VP in a bad position, when they're still setting up, VP want to sort of initiate the fights. If they're initiated upon, you could catch them out, like they did that time. TMW was forced to pop off a bad Dream Coil. Illidan was sort of just caught out, and a lot of damage was dealt to him. Cuirass will help with that. It'll give him some armor, but Alliance, you can't count them out at any stage in this game, in my opinion, because they bring the counter push, Like, it's not like they just have no plan for playing from behind. Their plan for playing from behind is we'll sneak a Rax here and there. So the presence of a strategic plan and the possibility of taking good fights is what I think the major upsides for Alliance here are. The upsides for VP are much more obvious. If they catch Alliance one more time like they did there, you're going to see at least Roche in a Tier 2, and the second time you're going to see Rax.
Yeah, exactly. They can take permanent advantages out of these wins individually, and they have all the means to do it, honestly. These team fights for them have been generally amazing. Actually, Bulldog in a bad spot, they can glimpse this easily and just pull him right back on into it, but he does get that Shadow Blade. They do pop off the Dream Coil glimpse and catch him out. He is completely screwed over, and that's just based on good usage of that gem, making sure they always had the vision with a Puck staying right on his tail.
Do you like, by the way, the combo of Glimpse causes the Dream Coil to automatically trigger? It's such a douchey little combo, but it's very good.
Yeah, it works
Meanwhile,
out. I mean,
you can see that even without Bulldog, they bring the counter push. This is smart from Alliance. Make VP pressure them.
Yeah, Fortification popped, and they will trade out this Roche, and they probably won't take the Tier 3 with the TMW coming on in, but at least they're making something happen. They're making rotations. They force out a buyback going on in. There is that big infestation, and S4 can't even get a single spell off. Running on through, it looks like Nyx might be okay. They see Gyrocopter going on in. They vacuum, but it misses, and he has the BKB up anyways, so he will be able to get on out of there, but still, they're
going to steal Roche.
Oh, could they? Oh my gosh, this is actually extremely good for them. They forced out the buyback. Nature Prophet. That was obviously something that they didn't want to have to do, but if they can force them back to their base and then immediately respond with a Roche kill, this is actually huge. Loda will have his Aegis. He can buy his Eagle Song right now, sell one more thing, and he is fight ready. Omni Slash comes on out. EGM will be bursted. Again, immune targets cannot be Carapaced, and we see that in effect there. But either way, really, really good snipe. Roshan
knows what's up, because that was Na'Vi strat TI2. Win a team fight, go Roche. Lose a team fight, just go friggin' Roche. Just Roche anyway. Like, very, very smart Roche sneak there, because they knew that VP committed the resources back to top lane, giving the opportunity. And you saw Arsart go for it. He was like, God damn it, I know that they're doing it. It's my strat. And unfortunately, the Juggernaut doesn't get quite in time to actually disrupt it.
Sure enough. Yeah, now in this position here, I honestly feel a lot better for Alliance over these next 6 minutes. Like, they're going to have Gyrocopter, either he fights and he has 2 lives to work with, or they wait it out and Loda gets his Butterfly out. In either situation, they are much better in a position to contest directly in these team fights than they were moments before. Bulldog and Loda not in the best spot here. Juggernaut with that Ion Shell moving on through. They don't have the detection, though, with the Puck nowhere nearby, so Bulldog should be able to get out of here no problem at all.
Yeah, and good pickup for S4 here with the Ghost Scepter. This is very, very smart, because the danger comes from weird... what was the deal with that Static Storm?
What about it?
Whatever. I just don't understand it. Why did he cast it? It's a low cooldown, so whatever.
Was it in the jungle?
Yeah, but he cast it on nothing.
Trying to stop Nature's Prophet from TPing out his Shadow Blade.
Yeah, I guess, but he wasn't there at all. Oh,
yeah,
they're gonna try to
he was there previously, but it was way too late, about 10 seconds too late. Yeah. So either way, in this position here, they're just going to be able to... no, honestly, nothing's going to happen. Like, over the next 2 minutes, they're just kind of drawing the line. They're not going to walk into a position where they could lose a big engage. Especially, Virtus Pro didn't want to go in 5 versus 6 with that Aegis the Immortal. And if you think about buybacks being available, currently in the Gyrocopter. That could be 3 lives for Gyro. You focus him down, he comes back. Once with the Aegis, once with the buyback recall. They have so much potential to jump into it every single time they want.
Yeah. Coddle, definitely very useful character when you want to sort of just buy back and bring somebody back into the fight. And Alliance, I honestly think that a comeback is very possible. The main thing that's been killing S4 in these fights is Lifestealer, and the Ghost Scepter helps a ton with that, because they actually don't have that much hard lockdown that's going to prevent him from using the Ghost Scepter. And of course, Ghost Scepter doesn't prevent you from ulting if you want. S4, KSI is hunting here, but they don't find it. VP have just not found as many kills as they were finding when they were winning those big team fights.
They do have vision on Loda.
They do, but how are they going to catch him?
Infest TMW? I mean...
Yeah, but no haste rune.
Yeah.
He needs like Force Staff or something, and he's making Scythe, which I like better. I think that's the right call, but it's going to be hard to catch out Loda. Non-trivial by any means. And he does have 2 lives. He buys out for Butterfly. This is what I thought he might do. Smart pickup, and even more anti-Lifestealer tech coming out.
Yeah, so he is now on top of the net first. We
up.
actually see something breaking on through. There is going to be the initiation. RP onto 2. They lock him in. They are not going to skewer them just yet. Loda doing the damage he needs to. Inside this kinetic field doesn't matter. Just right-clicking away. Won't be able to finish off KSI, but we see that skewer running down the Disruptor, and now Lifestealer can't even get out of here. Illidan tries to turn around, but he can't hit the Ghost Scepter. He can't hit the EGM. He won't be able to finish it. No, he does. Toggles the armlet, still alive, but I can't possibly fathom that he could survive out of this one. No, gets blinding lighted back into the frying pan, and there we go. He gets dropped down, TMW blinks away, and in the end, we see 2 for 2. Lifestealer getting dropped down, though, and that's their number 1.
Arsart bought back for nothing. Didn't get anything there.
Painful,
and this Juggernaut, not as big as he could be. He's got the Aghanim Scepter, so his Omni Slash is good, but what if he uses Omni Slash and Alliance survive and back off for a second and then just go right back in? Then this Juggernaut is not tremendously effective, and as these BKBs come up, I mean, Loda already has his, it's not going to be that much damage. And they know that. That's why Alliance are concentrating all of their item building prowess as anti-Lifestealer. And they're getting there, honestly. They're getting there.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what Keeper Light is going to be going for. Actually, yeah, they got the Prophet. They could go counter-initiate right here. Juggernaut going to go for the Omni Slash. Does hit on Ake. I was about to talk about him not surviving, but S4 does tank it up and goes for that Ghost Scepter. Skewers on out, and there's Loda on the back end. He gets a pick-off on towards that Disruptor, and they know the Lifestealer isn't up. They go for that. Oh, it's enough damage. They get the Shockwave right on top of Juggernaut, and they clean up 2 more. This is Alliance's moment. They come in and they realize that they have this timing window. Lifestealer would hate to buy back right now, no matter how well he could. And so, as such, they took the initiation. They baited out a good Omni Slash, but as soon as it bounced to S4, they split. Delta Split comes on through, and they are able to go Scepter up, survive, and Loda is able to finish it off. So really, really good for them, and they take a tier 2. Team W coming in with the Infest. Burst down EGM. Will be able to finish him off in a moment. Very, very soon. There we go. Finishing it off. S4 looking for his RP. He's manning up on Illidan. He gets that reverse polarity. KSI doing a lot of damage from the wall. Will he get the vacuum? Cannot get it. Just 4 staffs away with the Mana Leak active, and they walk around the wall. That's wasted. Buyback from Illidan. He really wants a piece of S4, but he's going to have to run very, very far to get it. There's like this daisy chain of heroes inside the trees. They get the Sprout. They lock him in, and despite so many heroes so close at hand, he can't get to them just yet. Kinetic Field locks them in place. This is such a cluster. Oh my goodness, they are going to go in. Skewer connects. They are almost getting Illidan, but he gets the armlet toggle. The vacuum comes on through. S4 solo, he gets finished off, but KSI with him. They get the Sprout off on Juggernaut. Can they do anything here? Loda solo life, but he doesn't care. He has the Aegis. Could walk on through the wall. Who cares? But they finish off the tower, the buyback from the mag, and from here, Loda will just sacrifice himself.
No!
He did it on purpose.
He just wanted to waste his Aegis. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, but
he wanted to drop the Aegis so he could come back full health and mana. I think they've won. I honestly think they've secured it because VP didn't have to push to use their advantage while they had it. They have no buybacks now, basically.
It all comes down to these.
Buyback for Illidan.
It all comes down to these next 50 seconds, and it's hard to say. S4 coming on in, but the vacuum pulls them right back out, disrupting their initiation. Really, really clutch vacuum.
The vac with no wall.
Oh, TMW coming on in, bursting down. Bulldog should fall here. TMW in a bad spot. Mana leaked up. He should fall. Yeah, no chance at all. Finishing it off. Omni Slash comes on through, but can't burn anybody down, and they still don't have this Lifestealer. This is their last stand. We saw it was a little bit questionable from Alliance at the very end of their last game. Now they come on through. Loda caught on in. He's trying to lifesteal away with this Butterfly active. He will finish off KSI, and that should be it for them. If they survive through this, they definitely walk away with a huge advantage. They get multiple buybacks, they get the racks, and they get to walk away with a huge gold advantage. I mean, look at the graphs. Look at those graphs. Turning it around. This is so... It's not over yet, but my goodness, did they make it so that they have such an advantage, and Virtus Pro have a gigantic wall to climb.
VP didn't quite have the execution, the last couple of fights. They had the Vax, but or with no wall, the kinetic fields with no static storm. They had a kinetic field static storm that completely whiffed. Actually, they've had a few. And especially the CIS daisy chain that you commented on. I don't... It's so tough when you're behind in a fight and you feel like you can just turn it around with one more player. And what you end up doing is feeding more and more people into the meat grinder. And that's exactly what happened there. VP just kept losing people and losing people and losing people. And I don't think they would have lost the racks if they had just, like, taken a deep breath and come in as 5 again. Instead of just dropping people in 2 at a time. Into Alliance, who, Loda, this buying out for the butterfly was inspired, in my opinion. Because it gave him so much more damage. And he was just able to sort of... I talked about earlier in the game, when VP's combo was in full swing, that they were just throwing out more damage. Due to the difference in net worth, due to the items on Alliance, that hasn't been true. In those last fights, VP were doing far less damage to Alliance than Alliance were doing to VP, and that's what sort of got the ball rolling, that got into that daisy chain. And I can't see Alliance losing. The problem is VP need to win a team fight and somehow push. And even if they win a team fight, they don't have the push. We talked about it 10 minutes ago. It wasn't as relevant then because at least they were getting kills. Yeah. Now they're not even getting kills.
Exactly. And in this position here, Gyrocopter feels a lot more stable. He's in a position where he can lifesteal away, he can dish out tons of damage, he'll have his Monkey King bar, and lifestealer isn't even working on his yet. He's still so far behind. So they have the 1 racks down, they aren't able to push out very easily, and as such, until they take a Roche in a full team fight, I don't feel confident in their chances of coming back in this game whatsoever. It's still possible. We've still seen amazing attempts from them for their AoE initiation. They just need to get it right. And one big thorn in their side is S4. They get the kinetic field to start it off. They're ready to vacuum on into it, and then S4 is right there connecting with 2 or 3 in that RP, and they're even dewarding with him, just making sure that he can always be exactly in the right position. They can always count on S4 to get these big reverse polarities, and as long as that remains the case, Virtus Pro don't have a leg to stand on. Going on through here, the smoke coming on to try to go for this 5-man engagement. They have no infest, but they can use it anytime. They get the glimpse off on S4. Can they pick him? There's the blink. There's the open wounds. They will go on here, but nice Impale coming on out. The blinding light will not connect with Illidan, but he pops off the Ghost Scepter. Anyways, S4, can he get it off? No reverse polarity at all. And now BKB Loda is just going down on Illidan, who is sheeped up. Big damage coming on through. Can he survive on through it? They do pop off. Big initiation. Here's the Omni Slash as well. Ake's Ghost Scepter is up, but Loda taking so much damage right here. They're both going to drop down. They finish off the Disruptor, but they lose everybody else here. And Virtus Pro still destroying in these fights when they're on open ground and when they pick off S4. That's what I was talking about. He was the linchpin in their engagement. Instead, he gets dropped down before he gets started. They pop off 2 buybacks, Gyrocopter, Nyx back in the fray, and that's enough to force them away from their tier 3.
Yeah, Loda tried to duel a lifestealer there, which is generally not a fantastic idea. He isn't quite at the damage. And he's not quite at the damage to just straight up duel Illidan. And having Loda completely preoccupied with Illidan there was a big reason why. VP, they lost some players, but they didn't lose everybody. They didn't lose the critical ones. TMW stayed up. And that's a big win for VP. The problem is, again, they win the team fight, they can't push. But next time, maybe they can push because Alliance won't have buyback. Meanwhile, Alliance, lose a team fight, go for Roshan.
There you go. They're going to go for it very, very swiftly here, and it shouldn't take but maybe a minute. We actually see Radiant Vision. They do see Gyrocopter coming on through, so they know 100% this is going on. The question is how they respond. They do not have wall for 18 seconds. Roche will be down by then. So they have to go in blind without ultis, and I don't think they're willing to commit it. They're just going to hand Loda one more Aegis and have to fight through a double gyro.
Double gyro is not an easy thing to fight through, by any means. And they still don't actually have a measure of... the fact that Illidan managed to chew through Loda considering no MKB is actually... He got lucky with a couple of hits. And Loda now with Aegis, now he can duel Lifestealer because he has 2 lives. You see Juggernaut, he's moving towards the MKB. What you can do is when you have the Aghanims, stack up pure damage items so that the Omni Slash, because it's... Omni Slash is your hits, so it will do more and more damage as you sort of stack up the damage items. And MKB will be useful. It'll deal more damage. It's got the... I'm pretty sure that Omni Slash bounces can actually, like, mini-bash, so... in addition to their like mini stun.
Yeah, you do get standard right clicks in between the Omni/strikes if your attack speed is good enough, and at this stage with Aghanims and with Drums and soon to be MKB, he certainly will have enough attack speed to get 1, if not 2, between a lot of his different Omnis. Not sure about the attack speed ratio since he changed his base attack time to 1.6. It's a little bit different, but it's straight up damage and attack speed are greatly going to impact how effective his Omnis are going to be. And now we see the supportive Arzart dishing out a lot of damage. I mean, he's not the core #1, but he's still enough to actually really change things around if they can get their engagement appropriately.
Yeah. The problem is, what if he Omni Slashes and S4 just Ghost Scepters it
Yeah,
off
they got a lot of it. They have Ghost Scepter on Keeper too, so...
Exactly. This is smart. I mean, the Ghost Scepter, we're going to have... yeah, I mean, it's going to be on Nyx Assassin as well. EGM, Ake, and S4 will all bring the Ghost Scepters, and then your Omni Slash doesn't actually do that much because it gets cut off in maybe the 3rd strike of it. Yeah. One of the nice things about Juggernaut is while he's jumping, you're not going to RP him. But if he only jumps 2 or 3 times, he's going to get RP'd.
Precisely. Smoke attempt again. Actually, cute little thing from KSI is he's trying to farm the jungle while they're invisible, just casting out the spells, because they know they're not going to find anything here. The push is coming out on top, and Loda wouldn't be doing that alone. So he has the entire team in his back, and I think they want to force high ground with this. They feel confident that as long as Magnus stays far enough back to wait for Loda to get initiated on, they can get their disables off. They can get their damage out, and with Loda's second coming, he'll pop off the flat cannon BKB when he respawns, and that will be devastating.
Right. It's still dangerous days for VP. They need an ideal fight. Actually, we're ticking away to the point at which they need an ideal 2 fights, because 1.5 minutes for Loda buyback. The one thing Alliance could do that I actually think would be a potential mistake... Oh no, he buys out. He bought out for MKB. Okay. So Loda won't have buyback. That's fine, because it's still 1.5 minutes on cooldown. And that means that they want to do this in this Aegis cycle. And I think this is the point at which they have a substantial advantage. It's smart.
Yeah.
VP, they got to pull it all together. They got to just... get it done.
Yeah, the way it'll work out, it's still actually going to be enough that Magnus can buy back and be recalled, and Nature's Prophet can buy back and teleport in. So they still have, I mean, we were talking about 6 with the Aegis, add in 2 more, that's 8 versus however many buybacks Virtus Pro have, which is actually quite a few. So it's kind of like an 8v8 if you counted up the buybacks and the Aegis. All in all, there's a lot of heroes they're going to have to chew through for this engagement to work out, but Loda starts it off with that BKB. He commits right now to this melee racks, but the backdoor protection was up for a part of it. So actually wasting that out, getting glimpsed back on in, he's baiting. They knew that they would glimpse him back on in, and they're waiting for this reverse polarity coming on through. Loda taking a lot of hits, but they're not engaging in full just yet. KSI dropping quickly inside this static field, but not connecting with anything yet. Puck brings down the Nature's Prophet, but he's immediately back on in. Juggernaut popped off his Omni Slash, but there's that reverse polarity locking down Puck, locking down the Juggernaut, that right-clicking way. He's life-stealing up. Illidan trying to actually get on out of here, but he gets sheeped up, and with the skewer, no, he gets forced out. Lucky play for Illidan, but it's not over yet. There is Juggernaut still up in the action. He bought back, he TP'd, and now he's getting shredded. He's down for the count here, popping off the Aegis. TMW is going to have to be on the run as well. KSI will get a kill on Ake, but Loda's back up swinging. Full HP, BKB about to come back up off cooldown. Admiral Bulldog right-clicking down. He does get bashed. Illidan is going to be able to bring him down for the 2nd time, and now it's only Loda up against Illidan here, and he's just going to be able to bring his HP back up to full. He has a gem, and he's just going to head out on the run. They have held off this assault against, in my opinion, all odds. Like, this was insane. Back and forth. TMW wants more. Comes out with that Infest. Is Illidan going to be able to do enough? He gets the bash. He gets the kill. Oh my God. They finish it off, and S4 limping away with 6 HP. He gets the blink out, but will it be enough? TMW blinking. He gets the TP. I think he's got it. I think S4 is out. TMW cannot connect, unfortunately. But still, they not only defended this, they ate through everyone, everything but the Magnus buyback, and they still held the line. Oh my gosh, it cost both teams so much, but still the racks stand.
No, I mean, Loda didn't have buyback. Everybody bought back on VP.
Yeah, right? But Magnus could have bought back and maybe be recalled in, but Ake fell before Magnus, and that wouldn't have been a factor. So S4 is the only one. Literally, I think S4 is the only one who didn't die in that at all.
Oh, everybody died. I'm just saying, VP had to spend a lot in terms of buybacks. And when you're behind on net worth, it's tough to buy back. I mean, no, it's not tough. You have to make the decision. They were on the point of losing the entire game. But now they're poorer than they were, right? Plus, it's 3 minutes that you can't buy back on TMW, you can't buy back on Arzart, and you can't buy back on KSI. The nice thing is, we still have buyback on Illidan.
Yeah.
So Illidan could still be a factor.
Yeah, we'll have to see. He did
They're two
maneuver
maxes
very
down.
appropriately to not only get some amazingly lucky bashes, but also survive through such hell. I mean, he was in the thick of things for the entire fight, and bouncing back and forth, he still was able to keep it up. But yeah, they lost Juggernaut twice, they lost the Darkseer twice, and Puck did drop down and force out the buyback. So, in that sense, obviously not worth an Aegis kill in the long-term sense, but they're not out of the woods. They still have, both teams have an opportunity to try to swing this. They just need the big fight. And,
Totally.
it's going to get rough from here.
I'm not criticizing VP's decisions at all. It's just a tough. It's just that they're still in deep shit, basically. And S4, again, you can shut this guy down as much as you want, and yet, eventually, 4.6k gold on this Magnus. He's going to have buyback, and he could build something like, I want to say Refresher. BKB is an option. It's very strong, but I wouldn't mind seeing the Refresher at all. Lock down that Lifestealer.
Yeah. I think that's probably going to be their best course of action there. If they get the Refresher up, suddenly they pretty much guarantee them the win. If they don't see another, we don't see another big pickoff where he gets silenced or hexed for the duration of his opportunity there. So
yeah, I mean, Loda's BKB down to 5 seconds it's becoming an issue because there are sites. There's TMW's site that he used again and again. Oh, he adds Halberd. He buys out for the Halberd. I like this because again with the 5 second. Halberd is more effective against ranged heroes, like Gyrocopter, than it is against melees. It lasts longer. So that's going to be quite good in terms of dealing with Loda, that's what they have to deal with. They have to answer this Loda.
yeah.
In the mid-game, Alliance did a very good job of answering Illidan. Now it's VP's turn to answer Loda. Without that, they can't do anything. The problem is here, again, check out how slow it takes this team to push through one of these lanes. And during that time, these super
losing a lot on tier 4s.
Damage to the tier 4s. Yeah.
And meanwhile, Loda has pretty much the entire map at his disposal. They know exactly where they are because they have to push at 3 at a time at least. And he's like, okay, I'll take your Ancients, I'll take mine, I'll take my jungle, I'll take my lanes. Literally, he's having just complete control, and as such, his GPM is matching it. 582 throughout this entire game, and he'll just get empowered, TP on for more Farm Fest. So from here, a Satanic would set up Gyrocopter where there's really nothing that they could do. Virtus Pro will be pretty much entirely screwed over. I mean, of course, if you can Halberd or Hex during the Satanic's usage, then they'll be in a pretty good spot to actually bring him down. But it's all about the timing there, and just the strength alone gives more opportunities for Loda to be able to win that fight outright.
Yeah. I mean, Alliance still with the advantage, still at this point. And keep in mind, remember when we thought the VP had a pretty significant advantage? Those days are gone. But Alliance's advantage is not... They have the racks, so the mid-racks is a big deal. Pushing in that lane when VP is not a pushing composition is an enormous deal. The problem isn't that VP are so far behind on the numbers. In fact, their buybacks are coming up pretty soon. The problem is that strategically they're going to have difficulty actually getting through and winning. Because they need push that they don't have, and they need to win these teamfights that are going to be on their side of the map most often. We see a signal out. They know that Rosh is coming up soon. They want to sort of make sure that Alliance don't secure... It's going to be the cheese Roshan next, so...
This is all about S4. He has Refresh Orb. He cannot get picked off. If he gets picked off, I think Virtus Pro can obliterate a team fight. If he doesn't, I think that they don't stand a chance. So it really comes down to this guy finding at least halfway decent RPs, and most importantly, getting them out before his first death. I mean, he's bought out for that Refresh Orb. He won't have the buyback, and as such, this game at its highest tension. 48 minutes in. Literally, I obviously give the huge advantage to Alliance, but it's their game to lose. They still have opportunities, and Virtus Pro is winning on kills and winning on opportunities to try to go for these picks. Focus. Obviously, if you bring down the Disruptor, you pretty much just guarantee this. Wow. What a game so far.
Right. I mean, this is a fantastic game. This is exactly the sort of pick-me-up we needed after the somewhat disappointing earlier series where we did have electricity issues, all that good stuff. This game, no such issues, although I don't know what this pause is exactly. Do you know what this is going on here?
They said already that they
S4
just
mouse, S4 mouse.
Okay. Yeah. No, I don't think he needs it. Magnus can just, just use his keyboard.
Magnus doesn't need a mouse. Yeah, you double tap the E if you've got that
You just hit R, dude. It's your keyboard. You literally hit R and you win.
Hit R. There's no way that you'll miss if you just slap the R key. Open palm slap on it. I mean, this is tense. This is a tense position. Honestly, VP are behind, but they can absolutely win. They can absolutely take another team fight and take it out. And I was totally wrong earlier when I was like, oh, Alliance have secured this, because
No.
VP put together some extremely impressive fights. That was like, I almost never, I shouldn't have done it, because I almost never say like a team hasn't secured, and the one time I do, it's the most idiotic thing I could possibly say.
Yeah, this is not over. They are behind, but they still have great opportunities. I mean, Abyssal up for Illidan soon. Oh my goodness, they have so many opportunities.
He's got to hold buyback.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying he should buy out. I'm not by any stretch, because if he is able to like get into a position, obviously they wish they had the Prophet or they had the Keeper Lights. The buyback would be more useful if for like a Roche engagement halfway across the map. But still, if they are getting pushed in the base, the buyback will be very, very useful. So I don't know. He can't buy out. I'm not saying that, but
here we go. Let's see what VP do about this, if anything. Let's see how quickly Alliance go for it. You can see Alliance are perched, and fighting a Magnus in the Roche pit is... That's what killed Fnatic yesterday against Alliance. Yeah. Fighting a Magnus in the Roche pit. They were ahead and they lost it.
But KSI brings a lot too. I mean, you drop that wall of Replicate has a lot of potential. We do see that Lifestealer did buy out. Whether for better or for worse, we'll see in a moment. But he does have that Monkey King bar. He is infested inside TMW. I wouldn't put it past him to just not... Okay, I was going to say not break infest until after that ultimate comes on through, but he's going to just solo the Roche. Go on in. We do see Call Down doing a little bit of damage here, forcing Illidan, trying to get him a little scared, making sure that they're as tense as possible before we close on in. EGM, don't they have the gem? They actually see EGM right here. They're using it as a distraction, trying to make them cluster up on one little person. Admiral Bulldog is in the fray now, trying to do some damage here. S4, he gets silenced. He gets silenced. He can't PKB out. No ultis yet. They vacuum him through the wall. Does he have the reverse polarity? Looking for it here. TMW is sheeped up, but is going to be able to blink out of that phase. Instead, Omni Slash coming on through, bursting down on Bulldog. Loda is hexed as well. The damage comes out, but finally that reverse polarity hitting on Illidan, hitting on Arzart. They get the second one too, and that's exactly what they needed. S4, so darn patient. They had good control, but they couldn't bring him down during it, and now they see that second kill. The Roche fell, they got the Aegis on the Juggernaut, but it ends up not mattering, as there's no way in hell Darkseer and Puck can survive this next onslaught. They are going to be able to finish it off here. There's 70 seconds on the board, and no chance for buyback whatsoever.
Nice Waning Rift on his way out. Really smart to prevent S4 from chasing him. That's actually a really clever play from TMW.
Oh, TMW turning around on Emerald Bulldog. This could be pretty big. If he gets the one more spell off, but instead he gets hexed, and the right clicks come on through, finishing off the Puck. All Bulldog has to do, he could have... If he had a TP scroll, he'd be healing up, but instead they go man mode. They have to go in with this low HP. The urns are... Oh, KSI, what is he doing? Vacuum on through, immediately gets Orchid, and he just feeds his life away. That was his... I mean, I don't think they had any hope, but, you know, trying to go down fighting. That's the Russian style there. So either way, good game, well played. And as a result, Virtus.pro getting knocked down into the losers bracket. We'll see that tomorrow at 18 o'clock or 3 p.m. for the Eastern Daylight Time individuals. And then along with that, we do see Alliance moving on through, securing at minimum 3,000 gold from, $3,000 from this tournament, USD. And they're going to be able to pick that up, and possibly 5,000 if they can win, of course, the grand finals, which will be played later on, again, tomorrow. Wow, what a game. What a game to end out this match here. Alliance, well fought, and they definitely earned it throughout all the stress this match put them through, but they do clean it up in the end. Wow.
Both teams picking up as many fights as they possibly could. VP actually had a clever strategy. They did a lot of stuff right in that fight, and in the end it just wasn't quite enough to be right. It's not enough to have the right strategy. And the other team they had too much. There's too much stuff on Alliance to chew through in that last fight. The Refresher made a big difference. That long disable made a big difference. Loda having Satanic to lifesteal made a big difference. Quick shout out to what Virtus.pro did in that fight. I mean, the trap onto Magnus.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that static field. I thought as soon as he blinked into that static field that they were completely screwed because he already used his blink and he didn't have any spells to cast. So literally he popped his Ghost Scepter and just tried to survive. Luckily it was enough for them to get the double RP off, and as a result Lifestealer didn't even get to use his cheese, but my oh my was that close. On the edge of a knife. That game was really, really incredible.
And in the end, VP, they got the early advantage. They were dominating the map, and then Alliance, they did what they did with Fnatic. Just recognize the weakness in your opponent's composition. This time, it was that VP couldn't really push effectively. And it's like, okay, we're going to have people die here and there, and we'll just wait for the opportunity to come back. We'll farm safely. They even early on, even 35 minutes ago, when VP were in the prime of their winning, Loda and Bulldog were finding the farm, finding the towers to set up the leader pushing, and setting up for the position at which they just dominate later. Good item pickups, good management of the Lifestealer. Alliance, right now they're just the complete package, Blaze. It's, again, going to be very difficult. We'll have to see tomorrow for the grand finals who actually comes up. Will it be VP or Team Liquid? Will Team Liquid get their revenge? Will they be able to go to the grand finals? And if so, they're going to meet what looks like the most formidable team in Western Dota.
Yeah, this has been ridiculous. Alliance taking it away. That was just such a well-earned game. And that, like I said, I kind of made this a little bit of a prediction, but Alliance does take it 2-1, but not without a friggin' fight. Virtus.pro really gave them a run for their money here, and they have a strong showing going up against Team Liquid, who, although they had a really, really rough series yesterday up against them, they did bounce back. In G1, they took down Na'Vi, and they did end up bringing down Fnatic, at least in the first 1.5 games, and then there were, of course, the disconnect issues after the fact. But I have a great deal of confidence in both teams coming up into that next series, so that's going to be, I'm looking forward to that. Again, starting off at 18 o'clock Central European time tomorrow, and yeah, that's going to be interesting. Either way, thank you guys so much for tuning on into this Premier League, brought to you by Blaze and Vikrmond. I myself, you can check me out at twitter.com/blazecasting. Vikrmond, you can check him out all over the web. Just Google his name. You can find his website or his Twitch or Twitter. All those cool things is VYKROMOND. And unless you have any other clothing thoughts, we're going to be going on into the interview. It's going to be Ask the Pros with Alliance.
Just quick self-promotion. In addition to that, I am casting before TPL tomorrow and after TPL tomorrow. So should be some interesting games. Netalic Pro League, East in the morning, West in the evening, and it doesn't overlap with TPL at all. So you can check that out. Peace.
Cool. Well, that was, of course, awesome, and now we go on. Like I said, Ask the Pros is what we're going to be looking at, and we had Loda on yesterday. We've had Ake on a couple times before. Actually, we've had just about everyone from Alliance, so good distribution of that throughout the season, but now we'll see who we're going to be getting on for the final interview here, taking the winner's bracket final. We definitely want to get a few words from them before we conclude for the day, but what that's going to be on, if you guys are in Dota TV still, you can check it out on twitch.tv/thepremierleague or thepremierleague.eu/tpltv. Either way, it's going to be an interview one-on-one with one of the members of Alliance, and you guys in the chat will be able to throw some questions out there, and I'll try to pick out a good handful of them to make sure that you guys get some interaction with them as well. Either way, an amazing game, and I am very, very curious about some of their thoughts on it. Either way, thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we'll see you guys in the interview or tomorrow for an awesome set of series. First, the lower bracket final, and then, of course, that grand final match up against Alliance. Oh my goodness, I can't wait. Either way, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Just a few minutes on that interview.